Hello everybody, welcome back. Joining you for a little makeup moment. Today we're going to be doing a New Year's Eve glam look, and this look is going to be inspired by the silver allegedly making a comeback. I'm not ready to dive into the silver life fully, but I am happy to do a look inspired by it. And I did a pretty similar look last year, but I loved it so much, and it was actually interesting going back and looking at that look, because I was like, what did I use? What did I love about that? And it was like all the primers, all the things that I just said that I was no longer buying in my makeup collection, which was hilarious. So I thought we'd kind of take that as inspo, add a little bit more silver and glitter, and do a fun little makeup look inspired by New Year's Eve and the occasion where we can all maybe choose to get a little extra glammed. So I've pinned my hair out of the way. It looks hilarious. Let us dive in, friends, and do a little New Year's Eve inspired makeup look to ring in the new year of 2024. Oh my. So naturally, I've already done my brows, and we're gonna start with the eyes, because if things go awry, it's always something that we can wipe off and start fresh on again. I was about to jump right into eyeliner, but we gotta put a little base down first. As I mentioned in my previous little de-influencing chat, I'm no longer buying eyeshadow primers, so I'm just taking my concealer that I'm gonna be using today and using that to blend out all over my eyelid and create a lovely little base. This is going to provide some coverage onto my veins and my dark spots and all the discoloration on my eyelid. It's gonna brighten it up, but it's also just gonna be totally fine in creating a lovely little tacky base for the eye products that we're putting on top. So just starting with a layer of this, and you can choose to put powder on top of it or not, but I'm just gonna leave it as is. And look at that, already we've removed a product out of our makeup doing life. So then I'm gonna go in, I used this last year, but the Wayne Goss Obsidian eye pencil. The eye pencils in general from Wayne Goss, I feel like aren't talked about enough, but also they're not all that widely available. I buy mine on Beautylish, which I love as a website, but I feel like it's not as known outside of, you know, your typical like Sephora Ulta life. So I'm happily bringing this back, and we're going to be starting with this. This is going to be the main base of our look, and I'm going to have Dan pop the little inspo image that I want to follow right here. It's kind of that similar idea to the makeup look I did last year for New Year's Eve, but it's just this really dark, beautiful black smoky eye, a little bit of silver, and then maybe a little gloss on top, which I just think would be so fun and something that I never do, and something that's just very like special occasion appropriate. So definitely going in with the black to start with. We got to line the whole lash line and into the waterline. So that's what I'm going to be doing. It seems to go right into the inner corner here. So I've lined the lash line. I'm going to go in between the pencil and a little brush just to soften it and kind of push it more into the lashes. If I was like doing my makeup not filming, I wouldn't be holding the mirror and I feel like I'd be able to get a better grip on my hands, but alas, I do not have that option right now, and I'm just gonna go between. So adding the product on with the pencil and then buffing it in with the brush just to soften it and make sure that there's no little gaps. Now this has a really beautiful V shape, which I love to do on my eyes, and on the lower lash line it kind of only goes to halfway. Now you can see that the liner has already bled onto my lower lash line. I just have really watery eyes. There's no pencil or eyeliner that I've used that doesn't do that on me, unfortunately. So we're kind of gonna be able to achieve maybe like half of this look, because the liner goes to halfway on the waterline, and then it looks like a really nice like white or cream liner here. But I feel like I'm just gonna have to accept the liner fully all over my eyes, and we'll just have to deal with that. There's nothing to be done. Anyway, I'm gonna take the pencil and draw out my little V shape here. Just kind of try to follow the natural V of my eye. And then same thing, go back in with the brush and just soften this out. I'm gonna go back and finesse the lower lash line a little bit more once we've actually put the rest of our base on, but just to start, kind of just wanna map this out a little bit. Whenever I'm doing looks like this too, I also love to keep little pointy Q-tips on hand, just to clean up any mess on hand. Or if you love the Nikki makeup way, she also just likes to keep like a fluffy brush and do that instead. So that's one eye, that's our base started. We've already got a whole little cat eye moment looking scary. And I'll try to do the same on the other side. Do you ever just apply a product and think, oh yeah, this is gonna be a journey to remove at the end of the night? That's how I feel whenever I use black eyeliner. I'm like, oh yeah, that's gonna hurt later. Anyway, once we've applied all over the lash line, I'm just gonna make sure to go into my waterline here, which is my eyeball's least favorite task. All over the upper and lower waterline. And I just like to go over with a brush and I just give it a little tap. Once our eyes are bleeding from the eyeliner, we're gonna move on to eyeshadow and set this all in and add some fun into the crease. So I'm grabbing my Pindash Beautopsy palette because I just feel like this palette just kind of has the best variety for what we're going for right now. I love the black in this palette, and I also love the browns, all the neutrals in this palette, basically. I love so much. So we're gonna start by setting in this liner with the black shadow in here. So I'm just taking a small little brush and I'm gonna pat the shadow on top of this liner, just really softly, just setting this in. It's gonna deepen up the black a little bit. Sometimes when you blend black liner out, it can pull a little bit blue. So this just reinforces the depth of the darkness. And it'll also set it in, so make sure that you are happy with the placement of it before you do this. Moving right along, I'm gonna dip into this brown right here. I think this is a little bit too red, so I'm just gonna use the lighter brown. And this look appears to have a really exaggerated crease, so I'm just kind of gonna start with that brown all over the crease, and I might take it right onto the black, honestly. We potentially could have started by doing this, but I see nothing wrong with going a little backwards. So I'm just really gently placing that into the crease, and then I'm just really softly like bringing that right to the line of our liner. Swooping in the crease, blending it all over. And I like to always have a clean brush on hand just to make sure that I am blending out the edges as I go. Now let's move on to the glitter, because I actually feel like once we put the glitter on top of this, like that's all we need. It doesn't really need to be too much darker. I feel like we could blend this a little bit more in the center. The center seems to be quite blended on our little inspo look here, so I might just softly hit this a little bit more with the fluffy brush, just a little bit. What I might do actually is take a little bit of the middle of this. So there's like a little bit of gray here mixed in with the brown, which I think is a really nice color combo, and we can just kind of brush that on top. I feel like that'll help with the overall blended and sparkly effect later. Just very, very soft. Yes. We're just blurring that line. I like that. I like it a lot. Now for silver, I have a couple of different options. First of all, this is really excessive, but this Byredo palette that we picked up last year, I feel like it was a limited edition one. This is Metal Boots in the Snow, but this silver in this palette is so insanely gorgeous and beautiful, and it looks so good on, so we might dip into that. Otherwise, we have the Victoria Beckham Mirror or the Valentino Dream Dust in the shade 02. We have these two silver glitters, so I'm not sure which one I'm gonna go for. I don't know. I do feel like the Victoria Beckham blended out is less chunky glittery. So if we're talking about doing our makeup for a night out, there's less opportunity for fallout for this. So maybe we do that. Maybe we do the Victoria Beckham Mirror and we can just really lightly pat that on top. So I'm taking some of my finger and I'm just gonna pat into the middle of this. And it's gonna give that gorgeous metallic feel to the look. Oh, so pretty. So pretty. I want to bring back a little bit of the black, so I'm just gonna grab the pencil and just bring a little bit more, because that mirror actually really covered a lot of the depth and the darkness that we had put along the lash line, so I'll just add a little touch of it. Now I'm gonna do a little sparkle cleanup underneath the eye, just a little bit. We honestly didn't have too much fallout, which is nice, but there's a little bit of sparkle left over there. And then we can move on to, I think I'll do mascara actually before I move on to the base. So I'm just gonna do a quick curl of my lashes. Still getting used to this life. Still don't think I'm doing it right. No, I hate it. And then I think I'm gonna go straight into mascara, because what I actually love about this look is she doesn't appear to be wearing fake lashes, which is always my favorite. I love when I can get away with not wearing lashes for a look. And I am going to apply my Tom Ford mascara. I'm going to really sadly just bid this farewell. This is kind of, there's going to be a few goodbyes in this video, but I can't find this thing anywhere. Do I hope and pray that they're just, you know, changing the packaging, or will they relaunch it in some other format someday? Yes, I do, because this is like my go-to going out mascara, my most thick, volumizing, lifting mascara that you could ever dream of. But it is hard to take off, and it does have some ability to bleed and raccoon a little bit. So, you know, I'm sure it won't be missed by many, but I just can't get over the look of it. I think it's one of the most pretty mascaras that I've ever had the pleasure of using, and it's just sad to say goodbye. I'll leave the lower lashes for now, but I don't know if the full extent of mascara ever shows up on the camera, but this mascara is just like, woo, it's everything, really. Dear Tom Ford, if there's any hope, if there's any chance of this coming back to life, or can you just tell us if you're gonna pass this formula on to another brand, preferably a drugstore brand, can you just let us know? Anyway, moving on to the base. I've already got my skincare on. So like I said, I'm kind of stepping away from hydrating primers, just really trying to embrace my skincare. I am having a little bit of a breakout here, clearly. So I'm gonna definitely add on some coverage, but wow, truly like a year fave for me has been the Dior Forever Skin Glow Foundation. I have this one in the shade 1.5N. This one is slightly, ever so slightly, deeper than my natural skin tone, but overall it's a really nice match. And it is just gorgeous for any occasion that you need it for. It's a beautiful base, and I find that applying this on top of my skincare is all I need, and I don't need to go in with any extra primers. Obviously, if you want like a mattifying primer, if you want a glow-giving primer, do whatever, but I think that the combination of makeup products with my skincare that we're gonna be applying together is a perfect mix. And then this is my IT Cosmetics number 7 brush, and I'm just using that to buff the foundation all over the face as well as bringing it onto the neck. And it's so pretty, and it was my wedding day foundation, and I just love it. She's been beautiful. A perfect option if you're looking for a fabulous all over going out foundation. I would also like to note that I have switched up my skincare. If you guys missed that, I've been using a new retinol, and I feel like my skin is going through that peeling phase again. So no matter what I'm doing right now, like the entirety of my cheeks are kind of peeling away right now. So if we could all just look past that and ignore that, that would be great. Thank you so much. I'm gonna use a little combination of concealers, the Tower 28 Downtown LA. This is just like the perfect, really nice, lighter shade that I'm gonna use underneath my eyes and around my eyes. I'm gonna use this to brighten up and apply that ever so delicately underneath the lower lash line area, and then cover a few spots here on my forehead. And then I'm gonna use the Dior Backstage Concealer to do the rest of my concealing. So I definitely have a few of these spots around here, and I'm just gonna use that around my mouth. This is a really nice, just all over concealer. The Tower 28 one is a little bit more hydrating, so I love the effect of that one underneath my eyes, but I'm just gonna do a little bit of extra brightening using this concealer. I like to place a little bit underneath where I'll place my contour, and technically in this moment, I have also just forgotten to apply my contour first. So we're just going straight in with concealer. Sometimes that's just the way the cookie crumbles. And then grabbing my Morphe X Makeup by Ariel A14 brush, this glorious thing. Mine's starting to crack, but the brush itself is ever so glorious. And I love to blend out my under eye with this. I mean, all of my concealer and the powder, it's just so pretty. I love this brush so much, and it just makes everything blend out so seamlessly and beautifully. So I'm gonna go ahead and use that to blend out all of my concealer. So the concealer's all blended out. Again, just try to ignore my peeling face as best as we can. Let's go in with the contour. I'm gonna use the e.l.f. Halo Glow, the lovely little contour ones, and we're gonna use this to contour on the face. I'm gonna use the lighter shade to start, and I might go in and add a little bit of the deeper shade depending on how much we need, but I really wanna keep this look nice and chiseled. Just put a little bit on my nose as well. And just mixing in a little bit of the deeper shade as well, because the deeper shade's a little bit warmer, just a touch. So I'm just kind of really lightly dabbing a bit of that on top. And then we'll go in with a nice fluffy brush and blend that out. I need to go in and give my eyebrows a little TLC. I feel like I just wiped some of them away as I was blending that out, but I'm gonna use my Benefit Clear Brow Gel to set these in. Let's set this all in with powder. This is the Givenchy number 3, lovely little pink powder. I'm using the same brush that I used for concealer. I'm just gonna use that to set everything in underneath the eye. I like to start with the under eyes because I feel like that's what needs the most setting love from me. That's where I tend to look the most wet and oily in unwanted places. So I start with the under eye, and then I go around to the rest of the face. Now for blush, I kind of wanted to use that as a last step because I wanted to bring a little bit of the glow back to the face. So I'm gonna use the Nude Sticks Pink Ice. This is their matte and glow core. So it's hopefully, like I have a highlighter just in case you wanna add a little bit more, but I'm using this on top of everything because I want it to melt all of the layers together. And this is a nice like neutral pink, and I'm just gonna focus it really on the outer bits and areas of the cheekbone and kind of blend it up into the face. Also could have done bareback. You guys know how much I love bareback, but I'm just gonna bring a little bit more drama to the look. Is it me? Am I the drama? Sometimes it can be nice to add the blush last and it kind of just melts everything together. I almost forgot to finish the lower lash line. I'm so sorry. Really quick, I'm gonna dip back into the palette, and I'm actually gonna go in, I I think with this shade, I might start with this one just a little bit lighter to set the lower lash line because I don't really want to add to the smoke, but we definitely need to do a little bit of something to soften this up. So I just wanted to add a touch down here. Usually I would just go in and use the shade that we used in the crease on top, but I felt like that was a little bit too warm and dark. So just doing something a little bit softer down here. Okay, let's do a touch of the highlight. This is the Victoria Beckham Pearl highlighter. I'm just gonna take that with my finger and just plop that right onto the top of the cheekbone. Just whoop, right there. Now moving on to lips, I have been really sad to admit this, and I'll definitely talk about it more. I'll like show you guys the proper swatches in the December favorites video. December favorites and unfavorites, okay? Because the NYX Nude Beige, the one that we know and love, is in fact discontinued, and I am so sorry. I did not believe it. I refused to believe it, and I am so sorry to everyone who I led astray, and also to those of you who are winning the giveaways and getting a completely different version of NYX Nude Beige, because I was not aware of how, like, I thought it was just a subtle little difference at first, but I realized, nay, they are completely different. So I am in fact using the old NYX Nude Beige. This will be my last hurrah before allegedly we're retiring her forever because they've discontinued this shade as we know it. And I do need to go on a hunt for another option because there's just nothing that is like this, truly. NYX, how could you do this to us? How could you do this to us? Now for the lips, because the eyes are so smoky, I wanted to do something a little bit light. So I was just gonna take this Victoria Beckham Pixie lipstick, which is a really nice neutral peachy nude. It's just so nice blended into that liner. And then for a little gloss on top, I was gonna use this e.l.f. Pink Quartz Gloss. Smells very, very minty, very, very fresh. It's essentially like a clear gloss, but there's a little bit of something there. Wow, that lid is really hard to shove back on, might I just say. My skin is like so dry and peeling away. I'm just gonna take a little bit of MAC Fix Plus and spritz that on my face. I've got to be honest with you guys, I'm really scared to put the gloss on top because I feel like I'm gonna put the gloss on top and it's just gonna destroy the makeup look as we know it. And I know that if I was going out, like, gloss is not something that lasts. Like, gloss is really pretty on the eyelid for a pretty picture or a pretty like editorial moment, but in reality, if you put that on, it's not gonna last when you go out. So I do feel like keeping the glitter as is just your best option if you want your makeup to last. But maybe we can just like, I'll go take a couple pictures and then we can add the gloss on top just to see it. I'm scared. I don't want to ruin it. So not including the gloss, this is the finished makeup look. This is my little silver inspired New Year's Eve festive glam makeup look. This makeup look was a little bit of a journey, but we did get there in the end. I'm honestly thrilled with how it turned out, and I think this lip combo as well as the cheek goes very nicely together. So would love to hear your thoughts. Let me know if you are doing anything fun and extra special for New Year's Eve, if you're gonna be dressing up, or if you're gonna be staying at home and enjoying the sweet, succulent peace and quiet of your bed and or couch. Nonetheless, whatever you have planned, I hope that you guys enjoyed this look, and thank you so much for getting ready with me today. A very happy pre-New Year's Eve to you. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you all tomorrow for a new Landmas video. Bye! Okay, let's add a little bit of the gloss. Oh. Okay, wait, that's real fun. That's real fun. That is gonna melt off my face in a second. How do you people do gloss? How do you do gloss? Wow. Okay, but like, so fun. What a fun look. But it won't last. It's gonna ruin everything for this makeup, but hopefully we'll be able to get a good pick out of it. Okay, we're lost. Goodbye.